situation that, again, based on the stats, TNC is just much better at.
Yeah, definitely looking like they want to go for that big double snipe combo we've seen a few times in the playoffs, in the regular season rather. And this is definitely something that can be dealt with the front line of TLPH. We want to see how they can thread the needle, get that damage in, especially with the Fredrin in the front line. So we're going to see here, obviously, TNC versus TLPH. This is a best of 7, ladies and gents. We hope you have your lunch or dinner ready. We're going into it right here, right now at Cadenta Astrodome. Give it over to our TriCast panel, TriCast casters. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the lower bracket finals here. You're going to be blessed with our voices all night. Hopefully 7 games.
Hopefully.
It's me, Naisu, Brigida, and Renmar.
Hello.
To bring you this one. Guys, how are we feeling? Brigida?
Legends.
I know.
Yes.
You're thinking 7 games here. Renmar probably is too.
Yep.
I don't know. What do we think for game 1?
I'll say this now. What I'm thinking isn't in line with what I want. What I want is 7. What I'm thinking is 5 at most, but I hope we get the full distance. For this game number 1, though, I was hoping that TNC would have committed for the 5-3 gold. Yes, it would have been high risk. They would have been lacking range, but they already had the Novaria and the Wise has to funnel into. But the Granger is the safer choice, and there might be some good counterplay here. If they're careful, there is always that inevitable power spike that you'll have to meet when you're up against Khalid and the Harith.
I agree, especially with what, going back, Renmar mentioned about him not being sure if what he wants or what he thinks are the same thing heading into this series.
Hey, that's just how life is sometimes, you know? But this series specifically, being the echoes from the past and just the amount of history between these two teams and the individual players, like across from them. I mean, it's a star-studded lineup on both sides, but even when it comes down to like what they've been through, what they've accomplished, and what this could possibly mean. I know we're a ways from it, but if TNC is able to take down another juggernaut here, mind you, their journey, their trip throughout the playoffs even, they've gone the distance every single time. Now, I would say, even if we get 5 games, 6 maybe, and then 7, regardless of the outcome of that, TNC did a hell of a job.
Oh, that's the Purify already used by Sanji too, but could they possibly punish Chaknu here? Doesn't have the Revitalize anymore, but I don't think they have the resources to finish off the kill.
Okay, so Chaknu did not actually use his Revitalize, so that means they still have that strong utility. The Team Liquid Philippines, other than getting that kill, really wanted to get that Revitalize off of the Gatakacha. Chaknu!
Once more, that's gonna be first blood!
Wow.
But Taida, can he get a trade on JP though? Quick Sandguard still ready.
I guess he wasn't expecting that first. He didn't even use the Revitalize.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to stand that front. And now the risk is now Team Liquid Philippines just invading Zyda's jungle. He'll be able to get his purple buff without a problem. Chaknu needs to be a little bit more careful when trying to provide space. I know he's holding that minion wave so that Lancey and Zyda can comfortably clear it, but he could have just let it go through instead of giving that first death, especially giving it to Khalid right now. Is it the best idea? Or maybe just use that Revitalize, man. You guys weren't even going to commit into the turtle anyway.
Yeah, I think we've seen that play come in from Chaknu a couple of times even yesterday.
Yep.
He likes to really stay in the mid lane as long as he can. I think even, or especially before the first objective, Crimson Beacon though from Sanji. And again, it's probably because of the priority, the amount of priority they have in the mid lane or in the amount of space that they want to create for Lancey. Maybe all the more now that he's on the Novaria.
Yeah, speaking about Lancey, this is a debut pick for him this season, but this was his old signature back in MPL Philippines Season 12 when he was still playing with Minana Evos back in the day. This was one of his constant picks, and he does really well with it. Hopefully we get to see a glimpse or another look again at why that Novaria was banned away from Minana Evos back then.
Yeah, we might even, hold on, this is right in the mid. There's a whole lot being thrown out here. Are they going to still go? Do they disengage? 3 Mars drawn in, but I think you just back off of this. A whole lot of nothing happening in mid. So, again, with Lancey specifically, I'm actually surprised that you brought that up because for some reason, I was thinking he had played it this season already. He hasn't, though. But that might be the case here because I think this is already a picture of you're not going to build any more MMR on your Lunox Lancey, unfortunately, unless it slips through one game and TLPH just has an answer for that Lunox that's popped up so many times now in the past couple of days. We'll see what TNC does here. Second turtle of the game is coming up. Gold Lane's doing a thing. They're going 1v1 all day. Benny Cutie is, I think he's maintaining the lead, at least for now, probably just by a little bit. We'll have to see what the gold difference is there between our gold laners. But looking into the second turtle, they're in position.
Yep.
It's up to TNC to get in here.
A slight advantage, maybe even. Lancey doesn't have his flicker. Sanford already going in with the bravest fighter, but Carl only gets to prioritize the turtle. Look at the Throne of Ruin, though, coming in from 3mar. It got 4 members, and now Liquid have to run away. A Bracer's Draft committed over there. Even the Zaman Force from OHEB, they're still fighting back. OHEB's fighting back. The Gleam was forced out of 3mar.
Yeah, that was a great read by OHEB, knowing that even if there were 4 members of TNC surrounding him, they couldn't have handled the Harith at this point with the Zaman Force. Have to commend 3mar. Perfect entry there with the Throne of Ruin. I thought the Astral Echo from Lancey came in a little bit too early, but I believe he just used it to get more vision. I wish we could have seen it timed a little bit closer to the entry of the Alice to really maximize the Throne of Ruin even more. But at this point, this is just me nitpicking. That was still a great approach by these two.
Yeah, and so with this, that's 2 turtles in the hands of TLPH. We know they like to play this game. They'll maintain this a little bit of lead. Whoa!
Whoa, an aggressive flicker from Sanford. Sanji's there too. San duo with a bit of help from Carl. Take down Zaida all alone in the jungle.
I was going to say, they like to play this game, and when they have the lead, they'll continue to press on it. Now they just did that in the jungle of Zaida.
Yeah, rotational misread, which is why now you see TNC trying to compensate by forcing back the Harith. And let's see if they'll be able to take down this tower. OHEB commits Zaman Force.
Astral Echo reveals 2. Sanji comes joining 2. However, the damage from the Star Shutter was a bit too much. JP and Sanji, do they still want to fight this? They will have to walk away. Not even Carl might try and join this fight down bottom, but Benny Cutie still trying to go for it. Crimson Beacon already forced out.
All right, they even things out. Lancey saved that sequence. The Star Shadow was perfect. If they did not get that kill on the Harith, but only got the turret, would have been meh. But since they got the kill and the turret, great comeback for TNC. However, still a 1,000 gold lead for Team Liquid Philippines. TNC needs to heavily contest this turtle and minimize losses. While Liquid, they have a very stable formation. Yes, OHEB died, but the items are still locked in for him. He still has resources, and now he has Zaman Force again.
Yeah, this is a little bit better too. I think this Radiant armor picked up by Chaknu will help him in a way. Do they want to go for this turtle? They do want to contest it. Conceal's going to be used. Carl TZ needs to be pushed off.
Oh my goodness! Carl TZ with the retribution, taking away the objective. 3mar though with Throne of Ruin. That's going to be the trade. Sanford trying to sustain. OHEB going into the Zaman Force, and the raging Sandstorm from JP just in time. Chaknu will fall too, and that's a double for OHEB.
TNC really needed to commit that fight, even though it was risky. So what happened there was Team Liquid Philippines split themselves into 1-2-2. 2 members in the mid, 2 members in the turtle pit, 1 up top. JP's pressure up top means there's a little bit more damage done at the turret because it was him pushing the wave. When you have a Lapu Lapu and the Fredrin together, you can afford to just send both of them to hold the turtle, hold the objective, and then they can win that out. TNC needed to commit that play, but they were just outplayed by the late entry of JP.
Yeah, and I was even worrying if he could make it, but knowing that this is a Khalid, surprisingly the Raging Sandstorm was just made it in time, and it didn't even feel like TNC had enough time to burst the objective if even they wanted to.
Yeah, again, TNC's just lacking some of the firepower here. This kind of lineup too needs to go ahead and build up. Whoa, hold on. Is Sanji gonna be okay with that? Unbreakable?
Oh, probably not. Throne of Ruin and the Star Shutter's there. OHEB won't even try committing the Zaman Force anymore. At least TNC get 1 kill from Liquid there.
I'm so surprised that TLPH... Oh, hold on. JP's in trouble.
Or could they actually get 2? But Sanford's still gonna jump in. He has Carl by his side. And he only targets Benny. Carl TZ still going in. Energy Eruption onto 3. Forcing out the flicker from Lancey. But Zaida, he's going after... But OHEB's going after Zaida. And Zaida fortunately had the Traceless, but oh man.
I think Sanford felt something to the flex off before we got into the game, man. He went right for Benny.
Yeah, that was a bicep curl of Landshaker if I've ever seen one. Perfect entry, perfect distance. He committed the flicker there. It was right on the money. And of course, the late entry by OHEB stopped Zaida from being able to help. So now you see TNC Pro Team and one of their best qualities for this season. Forcing out fights when you least expect it to. Only one other team we attribute that factor to, and it's Omega. Yes. But Team Liquid Philippines, they are countering.
Oh no, Sanford could not move. Carl TZ might be the next target here as the front. Sanji and Oheb will have to reposition themselves, but that's one member down for Liquid before this potential Lord fight.
And that's a major member down. We'll see if TNC can capitalize on it. Sanji also less than half health, but look at JP's positioning. He's got a flicker available. TNC has to respect that. They won't pressure the Lord just yet. They need to continue to build up. This is a good item pickup too for Benny Cutie. He's now got the Malefic Roar. 3 items locked in for him. You're starting to see Lancey's damage also scale up. That's what we expect here. But again, you can see Sanford seems to be a big problem. He's a main part of the damage output that's coming out from TLPH. They still get control to start the Lord though. TNC is going to stare it down. We have to keep an eye. Chaknu's going to pop the conceal. They're going to go.
Oh, he uses the Unbreakable. Sanji's half HP. Carl still secures the Lord. And now the fight continues. Side, unfortunately, will be falling for TNC. Chaknu has nowhere to run to as well. And now the target is going to be 3 Mar. 4 members, actually 5 on him. And fortunately has the Gleam, but they lose 2 in the process.
JP and Sanford was blocking off the entry of Zaida. Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to make it to that Lord to get the retribution off, but the fact that he showed himself close to the fight, JP and Sanford were ready right away, blasted him immediately, and suddenly massive lead for Team Liquid Philippines. You're just seeing Team Liquid out-SQ TNC every time, and it looks like they've really looked at all of the tendencies of TNC Pro Team when it comes to the objective takes, because they are blocking off all the entry points every time.
They're doing it so well by also just splitting up TNC. You know that 3Mar wants to jump forward with the Alice. He wants to be able to get that Throne of Ruin off. So he's already separating himself from the rest of the team. Now if they're blocked, especially by JP or even Carl to an extent, they can't follow through on that setup that's coming out from 3Mar, and that's a big problem for TNC on trying to actually utilize the damage they have. Meanwhile, this is one of the downsides about Novaria. Obviously, there's this window of you're not really doing much except going on for those shots, those shatters, or the setups here. And so when you don't have that, in comparison to like a Jushin, right, for Sanji, he's just dropping down the lantern 24/7. Like that's what he does, right? Yeah. He's constantly going for it. So TNC, that's why I was saying they need more time to be able to build up, but then they have to be able to actually go into a team fight with an upper hand. TLPH is doing such a good job though at stopping that from even happening.
Yeah, looking at the items already up to a Guardian helmet for Carl TZ. He didn't full build the cursed helmet, he just went for the Molten Essence, while Zaida's around 1,000 gold behind. The 2 gold laners has actually a significant lead for Oheb, already up to the Holy Crystal. So getting that advantage isn't going to be as easy for TNC. And Team Liquid Philippines has been capitalizing on a TNC tendency, which is they want to overcommit right away on the first target they see for objective team fights, already utilizing their resources. Yes, they were able to get a great Astral Echo off of from Lancey, who decided to swing to the back. Astral Echo even got the clip Sanji there with the Star Shatter, but then since they didn't have enough resources because they just used it in the pick beforehand, then TNC Pro Team, the advantage that they really wanted to go for at the beginning was actually what costed them. So I think they need to recalibrate a little bit. Poke the hero down a bit, don't immediately try to burst it down right away.
Yeah, and choices like that, especially in the mid or early to mid stages, might be a bit dangerous because of flying clouds. But Chaknu here, would he even use the AOG? Because 3Mar decides to go in, catches 4, but Sanford's gonna block everyone else!
Wow!
Chaknu already falls, but they don't care! Sanford's able to do his job!
Sanford does it again! It's been all game, man. It's someone from Team Liquid Philippines just cutting off the damage dealers of TNC.
Yeah, what the 40, bro?
What the 40?
TNC Pro Team, again, the difference of the damage profile between the Lapu Lapu and the Alice. The Alice, yes, you can get a big set off, but you damaging everyone little by little isn't going to be that much of a bother for Team Liquid, while the damage of the Lapu Lapu is dealt in bursts. So it's a different reaction from both that actually favors Team Liquid. 8,400 and climbing in the gold lead. Free Lord, and this is going to be a very tough comeback for TNC.
Tough one to deal with. They're going to try to manage what they can from the base. But even with this kind of lineup, I'm kind of worried here for TNC as they face a 9,000, nearly 9,000 gold deficit. You can see the difference in itemization even.
Oh, man.
So there's quite a bit of a gap here, Renmark.
Yeah, it's already 3 items for the Juicin, already up to the Sky Piercer and even the Blood Wings. Only up to the Magic Lantern there is the Novaria. And already there's a Divine Glaive in the hands of Oheb. Sanford, knowing the lead they had, decided to go for the build that you go for when you have the lead as a Lapu Lapu, get 2 axes.
Ooh.
Okay, Lord making his way up top. They're going to jump in. Sanji jumps in with a beacon.
Yep.
TNC will try to hold on what they can, but the mid-turret's going to go down here, and 3mar could be in trouble here.
Doesn't have to gleam anymore, but will be using the Throne of Ruin.
Oh,
but looking at the damage, they already have enough. TNC get to work on defending their base for now, but there's another wave coming in mid. Would they actually still defend this?
Okay, they're down 1. 3mar's a major part of this. Team Liquid might want to potentially have the game.
Oh, JP goes in, he blocks off 4. Chaknu trying to defend as much as he can. Carl TZ denying Zaida of him being able to throw out those basic attacks. OM with his Ammon Force 2, and
Should be fine. I
see.
feel better for TNC's draft now, but
Then game 1.
yes,
Yeah.
but only because Liquid drafted in a way that they're really answering to Zaida's early fanny.
Let's see if the answers are going to be enough. Let's load it onto game number 2. Very crucial matchups to get for TNC. Let's see if they can do it against TL right here in game 2. Casters, let's go.
Let's go, we shall. Thank you so much to the panel again for breaking down at game 2. TLPH took game 1 under control, ended it very quickly, and this time around TNC decides to answer. Some interesting picks, one of those being the Fanny. We've seen Zaida play it before. You know it's one of his favorite heroes. And also, Benny Q getting the Bane again. And mind you, we saw the synergy between the Yuzhong and the Kimmy. It's undefeated right now in terms of hero synergy. What do we think about game 2's draft here, Redmark?
All right, so the same thing for every Bane game. No matter how good the early to mid game of Team Liquid Philippines is, are you ready for when Benny QT gets that Holy Crystal and most likely the Lightning Cruncher second item, depending on what he's deciding to go for? Because that's always the inevitable power spike when you have that Bane. So they will try to take control of the early game with putting pressure through the Yuzhong. They can somewhat be okay with letting Benny QT just be somewhat not too freely farming, just temper it a little bit.
yeah, and it's actually the debut pick for the Edith this season. We did discuss that it's not entirely new to us, but I guess I was really surprised about it showing up right now. But Zaida, that's the more surprising part.
You can hear the crowd. Zaida, I don't know. It doesn't matter who's playing it. Whenever they see a Fanny, you get a first blood. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, just about we said them putting pressure on the EXP lane.
Yeah, good thing TNC countered back. That's not how you want to start when you're up against a Fanny. I mean, it's not like it's going to be like, oh, GG, no way Team Liquid's going to make a comeback from this, but that's not how you want to start things off against a Fanny, against an iconic Fanny. The last time we saw this, he went perfect, no deaths, and got an MVP performance with it.
It's just something about it's something about the hero Fanny. You know, there's not that many junglers left competitively around the world that will pick it up and have the confidence to bring it in this situation. Again, it's only game 2 in a best of 7, but if somehow you get a better start here than what TNC had in the game 1, that's the best case scenario. They're blitzing this turtle though. I don't think JP is going to be able to do much, and it looks like this is going to TNC unless.
Oh, can Carl even actually catch up? 3mar's just gonna block the way. JP2 will be falling down. Sanford already using the Primal Wrath. But TNC don't want to fight. They just actually want to take the turtle.
Yeah, great discipline to not go for even more kills. Again, this is Zaida on a Fanny in Broken Walls. For the longest time, we always thought never play Fanny in Broken Walls. It's going to be way too tough, but he just looks comfortable with it. It doesn't feel like that there are Broken Walls on the map with it in his hand. He tried to time the entry perfectly. He still got the turtle. TNC Pro Team, they can just continue snowballing through here now.
Yep, and what's happening here is Benny Cutie's able to just go ahead and do his thing. You know, he can farm up, got a little bit of extra gold over there, and we all know that that's a timing thing for this Bane. Definitely going for that Holy Crystal. Once he has that, he'll be a big burst of damage right now. Zaida mostly.
Wow.
Arctic Pulse thrown out, but JP is trying to go ahead and put some pressure here on Zaida. We know that they can't fall behind because the minute that they fall behind, TLPH did this in the previous game too. They'll put pressure. Whoa, Sanji's gonna flicker out defensively. Good usage of the Glorious Pathway.
Yeah. It's a bit too obvious that Team Liquid might want to start playing or rotating a bit more aggressively. But TNC are just too quick to react as well. They have enough ways to stop you in your tracks if ever they wanted to. Imagine that. just with the Glorious Pathway,
Yeah.
the flicker was forced out of Sanji.
Yeah, the retribution of Carl TZ too. That was the most expensive reaction to a Glorious Pathway ever.
Yeah.
With barely anything happening in the map at that point. So that was a great call by Chapley to drop the ultimate down, already up to the Heptases for Zyda. Doesn't have a significant lead over Carl TZ. Oh,
No, wait.
oh wow. Zyda, bro.
Look, even we don't get to react on time with the amount of speed that Zyda's using this Fanny with.
If Lancy is Luna, Zyda is
Is
Fanny.
It's Vanny. And, you know, the crowd knows it too over here on this side of TNC. That's going to give them an opportunity to just take the second turtle. Not sure if Oheb and JP want to do anything. They're getting the information, but yeah, it's just another objective in the hands of TNC. Great start for them. You're 2-0 on the Fanny. Zyda scaling up really well. He's going to go for Oheb.
Oh, now he wants Oheb. Cutthroat already committed. Deadly catch as well. Does
he's gonna
Oheb
go.
get to dodge this? He doesn't! And now Zyda still goes in. AOG committed by JP, and they get to save Oheb.
Yeah, don't run Wolf King. Second skill, saved himself with it. Good thing they weren't able to give another kill there to Zyda. If that was another kill for Zyda, that would have been even bad news, because that means that's both side lanes already losing for Team Liquid Philippines.
Which is interesting, because when you look at this, yeah, he's got kills, but Carl Teasy's doing an okay job at keeping things even against Zyda here in terms of economy. He's already got his first item as well, Hunter Strike, and then, of course, Zyda's doing a lot of damage because he's got that Blade of Heptases working the next. And there you go, Benny Cutie now has the Holy Crystal. That's a big item pickup for him.
Decided to rush it. Doesn't care about the fact that a little bit of movement speed, you know, some basic boots goes well for the main. No, just go straight for the Holy Crystal. It's fine. You don't need to pack boots.
You're already fast
You're already fast.
when you're drinking.
Yeah, you drink your ale, you go faster. I wish real life was like that.
I mean, it could, depending on, you know, depending on what you're drinking.
Sip water would get that.
Sip water, that's
That
how
will make you get fast.
Yeah, that's how you stay hydrated, Redmar. You know, stay hydrated with sip. But yeah, that's what they're gonna do. The next turtle too, he might even rotate to the other side of the map for that last turtle, just because, you know, locking in that item gives him a big burst damage, and you can play into this. I think part of this too is, yeah, you can see Carl Teasy, he's doing fine. I think he's turned into a point where he's like, let me just farm up and do my thing.
Honestly, that's one of the most surprising parts, because this is one of considerably the best starts you could have against Liquid. Denying them of the first 2 turtles, which I think we pointed out multiple times whenever we tried to discuss the keys to victory. But now Sanford, he might have a bit more tools to deal with these potential pick-off attempts. But what he doesn't know is that there are actually 3 members waiting for him at that spot. So he has absolutely no way out of it. Black Dragon form, does 3 more commit? He's just gonna zone them out.
Yeah, he already used the Petrify. Right now, I'm not really seeing the vision as to why they go ahead and pick up the Edith. Zyda gets clipped a little bit by Carl TZ there in the bottom lane. Retribution still active for both. TNC needs to slow this down because Carl TZ gets to steal it. Look at Jack, no!
Ooh, but if they could get another kill, then they might not be the option. Sanji nearly got to take the kill on Lancy. But somehow he's still alive. Benny Cutie though, they have to avoid this deadly catch. Carl TZ has nowhere to run.
I told you, Benny's gonna join the fight for the 3rd turtle, and he aggressively flickered forward for Carl Teasy.
This has been the story for TNC Pro Team. Their side lanes have been more active and have been felt more in the map, and with Fanny leading the charge, look at Zyda again. Ooh. Sanford in the bottom lane getting pressured.
Oh no, Sanford.
1v3 once again. Primal Wrath already used. He has the flicker too, so he'll probably be safe. AOG, but he doesn't get to land it in the right spot.
Oh, everything just being thrown out here on both sides. Sanford actually able to use the Primal Wrath and survive this time. I think he's tired of getting just beat up in the side of the lane, but he's going to have to deal with it for a little longer. It's now up for TNC. I'd say this has been going great for them. They've got a nice little bit of a lead. They need to start getting some space on the map to work with. This next Lord comes up in about a minute.
Yeah, at this point, it's TNC's ball to drop. Because Team Liquid Philippines, they're waiting for the Carl TZ timer. They're waiting for their Yi Sun Shin to be really farmed up. It's going to take a long time, but that's why you pick up the Edith. That's why you pick up the Ruby. You pick up 2 very static, very slow, but lane-holding side laners to give a little bit more room for Carl TZ in the jungle. One of the main reasons, though, why this plan is going to get delayed is because of that kill Benny Cutie got onto Carl in the last major sequence that we saw. So good use of the flicker, the fact that he went all the way from the top lane to the bottom lane. Benny Cutie knows the timings of this Bane very well.
Yeah, that's why Zaida finally got to overtake Carl in terms of EXP. And possibly even a lot more gold now. Oh,
Burn?
the retreat! Oh, that wasn't even the retreat!
That was the burn, burn from the...
Lethal ignition.
The lethal ignition, yes.
Oh,
That's lethal. That's what they do.
it's so tough. I've seen two Farsas struggle
You're right.
in 2 days,
Yeah.
and I am not feeling good about it.
Okay, well, TLPH isn't feeling good about how things are going either. Right now, they're going to have to make a decision. Do we actually contest this? As JP is just taking everything, he's got to be careful. He's less than half health. He's going to go ahead and regen up, but TNC, they don't have a clear take for this while Zaida grabs his buffs. That's the priority here. It would be amazing if TLPH is somehow able to take this, given how everything has gone for the past 4 minutes or so. It's going to be up to them to just decide, do we actually want to contest it? And I think it's up to TLPH also to turn this game in their favor. Who's going to be able to do that? Probably this is where we have to see JP and Sanford pull something up their sleeves here.
But will they actually have the damage?
Yeah, and Benny's here too. They have to worry about Benny. Primar already using the Dragon Form. Oh no, Carl! Using his Traceland out! Zaida finds him! They get to secure the kill! And one more! AOG right in front of Benny Cutie just to punish him right there. But that's what they'll get. A 1-for-2 trade. And losing Carl was not what they wanted.
Everyone did their job perfectly from the side of TNC Pro Team. 3mar, especially the 2-man Furious Dive Petrify. Zaida uses the ultimate on the Little Wanderer.
Yeah, clearly that was supposed to be Sanji, but 3mar though he gets to walk away from this Lancy 2. Won't go down.
Go for the Lord. They get this though. They might be able to secure this out. They're going to try to do it.
Oh, they are! But was that the right choice? Oh, I'm jumping in! Might just pick up 2, but the traction pulse, it actually saved Lancy, and Chaknu deals with Sanji all by himself. There goes the I'm offended, but Lancy has to purify.
Yeah, look at Lancy, man. That's not Lunox. Oh, that's not Kimmy. That's Lunox with a gun.
Oh man, and it went again. They managed to get the Lord, but they lost a lot out of that too. TLPH able to pick up a couple of kills. TNC, how do they play into this? They already got the tier 1s down. Ideally, they get a tier 2.
Yeah.
But this is going to be tough because of the fact that Zaida and Chaknu went down.
Yeah, the timings of it are off as well. No minion waves in the mid just yet. So they're not clearing up the minions. Team Liquid Philippines are committing bodies up top to stop the Lord. If TNC fast clear mid enough, but no, they can't read the map because Team Liquid Philippines aren't showing themselves. They'll clear it. Minion wave crashing through mid. They might be able to get the top turret though. That might be their saving grace with this Lord push.
See what they get here. TLPH clears out that mid wave. Their goal is to maintain what they can. They just might have to say goodbye to this tier 2. Chaknu pops a conceal. He's going to be stopped in the tracks though. TLPH will lose that turret, but they'll deal with the Lord here. Deadliest catch into a pathway, but no go.
Yeah.
That's all they get. A tier 1 turret up top.
They get to the tier 2 at the bottom as well though, so they were able to space things out 4-1. That layering of the Glorious Pathway and the Deadly Catch could have been better. Could have been a little bit sharper, but hey, TNC Pro Team, they're not going to complain. They have the lead again. They're still holding on to it, and Team Liquid Philippines still scrambling. Now though, because of the last sequence, we saw what a big combination Flicker coming in from the Ruby can actually do for Team Liquid Philippines. So if TNC Pro Team get caught out like that again, it's going to be a very expensive team fight for them. They need to watch their spacing. They need to watch out for Oheb's Ruby.
Yeah, and that was just a Flicker, not the I am offended. Don't run Wolf King. So he just tried to put himself in between those 2 members of TNC who were already really low, but that could also be the I'm offended. So maybe if Team Liquid Philippines start playing this a bit more aggressively, they could potentially find much more favorable pickups, but ideally, you have to have a clear idea of where Benny Cutie is. I feel like Benny Cutie and his sudden burst damage could be the major difference maker in the team fights later on.
And the one that's going to feel that the most and has been feeling that pressure is Sanji. Sanji's such a big component of that damage profile that TLPH has, and a lot of times it's either Zaida or it could be Benny as well that forces him to either end that Feathered Airstrike early or even to go ahead and wings by wings out. That's happened a lot of times. So Sanji, he's the one dealing with the most pressure, I feel like, right now for TLPH in terms of survivability. And that's something they're going to have to work with. Real quick, though, you guys can take a look at this. This is the Infinix GT30 Pro. Experience victory for every Madlang gamer. Right now, we're getting a good look at Zyda here on the Fanny.
So that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
So this is how you clear minion waves with the Fanny.
Ah, you need finger sleeves.
I never knew just basic
And
attack.
triggers.
Yeah.
Okay, now Lord's up. We're almost 14 minutes in.
Oh,
Zyda, is he going to go?
Oh,
Okay.
that's some echo tactics right there.
I was going to say, good check there. Oh, Chaknu.
Oh, the damage seems to be quite enough.
Oh!
Flicker from Sanji, but Zyda's trying to hunt him down, though. He just stays on top of the wall, and Zyda couldn't find him. There goes the counter AOG, forcing out the Purify from Lancy, but 3mar still decides to go in. Zyda too looking for a target, but JP, he couldn't handle the damage.
Oh, he missed.
Flicker from Sanford, not gonna be enough. Carl Teasy gets caught as well. One by one, Liquid are falling. Chaknu seems to be the only trade can OM handle is all alone. It might be a no. They have to walk away. It's only him and Sanji.
What a bloody fight! They just ignored the Lord and they decided to fight anyway. That's what we're gonna see here. TNC, unfortunately, aren't able to capitalize just yet, but they will start up the Lord.
Yeah, JP got caught out there because he saw the gears turning in Team Liquid Philippines' heads. They wanted to join in. They wanted to fight, but Benny Cutie didn't throw his sharks out just yet. Once the sharks were finally thrown out, that's when Liquid decided to go forward. Sanford missed out the Earth Shatter, there we go. Earth Shatter Flicker, and then TNC decided to punish. Sorry, it's too similar to Land Shaker, okay?
I was gonna say.
And then for
The land shakes and shatters.
yeah.
Yes.
Now, again, I asked Liquid, why the Edith? Why not something with a little bit more lockdown? Maybe even why the Ruby? Was the Ruby your answer to the Fanny? It's not really working out. No one's protecting Sanji. No one's protecting Carl Teasy. Zyda is eating good.
Yeah, the way it's a red 3 Ruby pick felt like it was a response to the Fanny. Because they could have run out of options to counter it. But they can't even find the right timings to use those multiple layers of CC. Because Zyda, he's just such a difficult target to catch.
We'll see if they can figure it out here. This might be the moment for TLPH to go ahead and layer down that crowd control if they can. The Lord's going to go ahead and march in, charge into this bottom base turret of TLPH. They'll lose that one, holding on to the mid and the top. Conceal's going to be used. Dragon Form pops too. TNC wants to go.
Okay, JP finds where the other members of TNC are trying to go. Sanji, already caught by the traction pulse, doesn't have the feathered airstrike either, but all they want is to defend the Lord for now. Team Liquid saw it coming. They will probably definitely lose one base turret there.
Yeah, I also appreciate the growth by TNC Pro Team. If this was the regular season, they would have committed that fight heavily.
Yep.
Probably lost members, and then suddenly it's a Team Liquid swing, but they stuck to their discipline. Chaknu usually would have just stacked all the way, kept OF all the way back, maybe even go for Sanji under the base turret, but no, he decided to back off. So you see the growth here, you see the discipline. And this comeback from Team Liquid Philippines will really have to come from the fact if they can catch Zyda off guard. I'm not even just looking at Benny and Lancy anymore. They need to somehow find this miraculous start wherein Zyda gets caught out by OHEB and everyone else by Team Liquid. They take the Fanny down right away because you got the dude doing things like that. You need this Fanny out if you want to fight properly for Team Liquid. And then after that, then you can think about, okay, what about the Sharks coming out of the Bane? What about 3mar with its Furious Dive Petrify? You can think about that later. Just take the Fanny out first.
Which is hard to do. I mean,
Exactly.
look at his itemization. And not only trying to catch Zyda, but then his itemization. He's got the wings, he's got a Brute Force breastplate.
Yes.
You know, like, and of course the mobility is a factor into actually taking him out too. So a lot, if you look at it that way, it's like TLPH has to give so much just to handle Zyda. And that's like one of the main problems. Benny Cutie is the other one. I don't know how many stacks he has on the Sky Piercer either, but even without it, he's got big damn. Like, he's got the Holy Crystal, Divine Glaive, the Lightning Crushing, and I believe the wings. So he's eating good too. And that's why part of this idea is whether it's Chaknu, whether it's 3mar setting things up, it doesn't matter. They're able to catch someone, and if they kind of feign their engagement with a Glorious Pathway, then it could actually work in their favor. Also, with that kind of lineup, you have such a good advantage when it comes to dealing with this Lord take here. You can see that they're going to get the positioning favored for TNC right now.
Did they see him?
Oh, did they see
Check
him?
the bush, check the bush.
Okay, so OHEB's actually helping Carl TC out here. That's why.
Oh, JP. AOG out. major resource already committed from Liquid. But Chaknu, is he gonna be the target? Carl TZ. They spot Zaida.
Yep.
They can't fully commit.
Look at that formation. Sanford, Oheb really just standing in front of Carl TZ and Sanji together to protect their main sources of damage here. JP still about to come back.
Yeah.
While TNC slow things down, they're not going to rush it. They want to get the buffs onto Zaida first. Another thing we should be looking at the next big team fight is how 3mar's going to be using the Yuzong. So far, he hasn't been heavily diving into the backline way too much. He's using the Dragon to threaten, and then he rejoins the other members of TNC when, say, JP or Sanford get too close. Then he uses the Petrify. If he veers off away from that and overcommits onto Sanji and Carl TZ, that might be something TNC wouldn't want to happen.
There's also going to be a push down on that long lane on the other side of the map, and he's going to have to deal with that. Look at this half health of the Lord here. Is TNC able to commit? They'll be backed off of it, though. Angie joined the fight. Primal Wrath pop, too.
Yep, they're trying to burst everything down all at once. Chaknu the first to fall. People are actually hunting Carl, but who gets the objective? It's still gonna be Zaida. Will 3mar be punished though? AOG committed onto him. Zaida looking for a target. It might be Sanji next. But there goes the onward from Sanford. This might be the opening for Liquid, but Benny flickers in. Finds the kill on Sanji. Even Oheb, he's making things happen even though they lost Zaida.
Oh my goodness, it's Sanford. He's trying to buy time. The Lord was already secured. And it'll be a triple for Benny Cutie, maybe Bane Cutie.
3 kills, Lord marching in. Daddy and Carl TZ. Yes, I called him Daddy. That's his moniker, okay? Trying to defend. This is going to be way too tough. I think this is it. TNC might take it here unless
something can happen here. And this is a beat up
miracle.
Lord. Can they defend?
JP trying to tank the damage.
Go for it, 3mar.
Traction pulse already. Deadly catch towards the base and clear.
It's him. It's him.
Right? You can't go wrong. Lancey should not die, ideally.
I saw the pro play
here. So, come on in over. Connect Astro, it's pretty. It's near the heart of the Manila area.
Yep.
So we're going to do it. We have a few more seconds. Throw it over to our casters right now.
Thanks so much, Leo and Rockhart. I love hearing you guys talk, you know? And I'm glad we're jumping into the game.
What a perfect transition.
Hey, what a perfect time to jump into Game 3. If you're just joining us again, we took a little bit longer to get into this game. And here's a little refresh of the draft and the emblems. But yeah, I think this is a big one. After TNC took Game 2, they get some very comfort picks here, Redmar.
Yeah, Benny Cutie on the Assassin Emblem show still has the concussive blast, but this is going to be the one that builds BOD, if I'm not mistaken, by the 3rd item. So this is going to be damage, you're going to be hunting. Chaknu can still play the traditional roamer. He's going to be changing things up with 3mar in terms of who's going to be holding the front. But this Ruby in game number 3 fares better than the Ruby in game number 2, because now your Don't Run Wolf King actually does more up against the Cho and the Joy. It doesn't do that much though up against the Lapu Lapu and Grok, so it's up to the timing of Oheb. But Sanji, oh my goodness!
Oh, he's gonna pop the Purify though.
Okay.
So early on damage.
Yeah.
Early on pressure from TNC. I think that's the other thing is like how well Oheb's able to utilize this Ruby pick, but also I feel like Joy just hasn't done too well, you know? We've only seen it a couple times so far in the playoffs, and it is now in the hands of Zaida. We'll see if this time around he's able to kind of break that mold on how Joys have been performing.
Especially now that our panelists have also highlighted the presence of a Hilda being a really great option against this lineup, because you could see it right now. JP just trying to always be in front of their faces, and now they get first blood onto 3mar. Zaida will fall next. And that's where you see how effective the Hilda is.
Yeah, and the final slash of Sanford on the money yet again. Perfect initiation by the Arlott, the signature pick of 4D.
There's something about the Joy, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just too squishy right now with the current meta, but Zaida got deleted. And I feel like, you know, playing against a final slash and even to, in a sense, a lot of the crowd control that's going to come out from this lineup from TLPH is going to be a problem that TNC is constantly facing throughout this game. Look what's happening here too. Benny Cutie will go ahead and deal with JP. They wanted to go ahead and try to secure this purple buff, keep it safe. You can see where Zaida's positioning is too, and how they're going to rotate.
As we saw in the last fight, the R-Lot is going to be the X-Factor pick here. Yes, questions on the OHEB Ruby, but definitely how Sanford interplays with Carl Tizzy was actually perfect in the last sequence because they were able to use the turtle shift as well. Zyda, I wonder if he knows just how threatened his orange buff is. Chapter for the help.
Chapter just wanted to block them. He just wanted to help Zyda because you could feel the threat of Liquid coming not just from JP now. It's from every single member who tries to scout him. And even just as he wanted to transition to the purple, that's where JP comes back in. This is Liquid starting off the game the way they want to. A free objective, no kills whatsoever on either of their sides, and both being very stable and efficient.
Yeah, you're seeing how much work is needing to be done though to help Zyda right now. You can't be in a position where you fall too far behind against the YSS in the hands of Carl Tizzy. Angie?
Angie gets caught here. Chapnu won't use any other resource. And he flies away.
Actually good that he didn't commit the tech charge there, though he could have. The fact that Sanji still has Purify means it would have been a wasted ultimate. Up top, Zyda pressured again. JP, man!
What? That's all the damage from a Hilda alone?
Yep.
It's something about this, Joey, man. I mean, you can't even get away from an R-Lot in the hands of Sanford, and next thing you know, you're dead. And look at this. I mean, he's just got a Fury Hammer for the most part, man. Like, and that's enough to just tear through the Joy.
JP's Hilda as well, doing things that he was known for, made a name for himself at in MSC 2025. TNC, though, still healthy enough, but let's see just how heavily they'll commit. They need to find the R-Lot first. Chakno gets to spot Sanford.
Yep, now they find him. Raven Spider 2 committed on the R-Lot. He'll have to run away. Thank you! 3 more! Actually picks up the kill. Will the other members of TNC follow up? They get to zone Liquid well enough.
Yeah, condition check. They found Sanford. I don't think Sanford wanted to step out of that bush. He wanted to make the most out of his position there, but he stepped out for a moment. And Benny Cutie actually threatened OHEB, which meant that OHEB had to use his flicker to get out of there. Lancey!
Lancey, will he
bang!
The concussive blast was enough! And the flicker from JP! But 3 more with such great precision too catches up!
Fancy, fancy moves from JP, but not enough to get away. Still, though, he gets a kill. That's great for him. Again, this roamer, anytime you end up getting a kill as the roam, especially in the hands of Hilda, one of the most annoying roams to deal with, that gives you a little bit of an advantage here to work around. It slows down Lancey. I mean, he even used up his Purify earlier on, too, so now he's even more susceptible.
Yeah, you see, Zyda just built up the tough boots, and he really needs that with all the crowd control that Team Liquid keeps throwing at him. Probably would have thought, hey, maybe Warrior Boots would have been good for him because all of the physical damage is what's actually messing up this Joy. But the crowd control is what he needs to get rid of the most, because there's a chance he'll be able to, once he has his items, yes, he'll get out of the crowd control much quicker, then he'll just regain the life that he lost.
Oh, don't run Wolf King! Not allowing Benny Cutie to pull off the full combo, and they might actually get to defend this. Look at OHEB!
I gotta say, trying to...
Okay, maybe you can't speak Zyda! He just wanted to defend! Chaknu here as well, but they won't even pay attention to him as much, or maybe they will, because they force out the tech charge.
I want to say 2 things real quick.
Okay.
It's so hard to gank a Ruby on the turret. Oh, there's a kick. They do get the Purify out. All right, hold on. And the last thought there was, man, again, Joy. Zyda has been shut down.
Okay, and Sanford might get shut down too.
All the crowd control in the game, putting in the work. Sansan putting in the work. Sanford, again, now this time, he didn't show himself out of that bush. He waited as Carl Tizzy and Sanji were the ones pushing the turret. He waited for the eventual defense of TNC, which is why they were able to get a kill.
Oh, Chaknu? Is he gonna be targeted? What a sidestep! And he actually gets to catch multiple members, 3 more with follow-up 2. He's gonna go after Carl. Feathered airstrike from that reposition on Sanji. But TNC will get this objective.
Oh, wow, Chakno using the flicker to change the trajectory of the tech charge to knock 3 members of Liquid up, showing why our guest in the Filipino broadcast panel just a few days ago, Fuego, one of the most well-known content creators in the MLBB space, why he saw Chakno. Wait.
Whoa.
I did not expect that.
That was a grab if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, that was OHEB and Carl Tizzy linking up, and Benny Cutie just out of the timing. He thought that he'd be able to contest that without a problem, but then Baby Cakes was ready.
Yeah, because that was a Jeet Kundo that he used But he just
Ramsey
timed
died.
the I'm offended so well that they were able to catch him, and now 3mar, he's trying to take on Baby Cakes. He brings them down to at least half HP, but not entirely something, or he can't entirely take a kill, right?
3mar wanted to fight that. At least he keeps the turret up, but I think it's still eventually going to be pushed in here. JP cutting off that side too. Itemization-wise, you can see TNC is rather behind. They need to catch up here.
Liquid, significant lead. No clearly up the gold laners. He has 700, 800 floating, 500 between the two mid laners. As Zyda, who's suffering the most. Of course, with the 3 deaths, we saw the difficulty he had. Good stun by Carl TZ, forcing back 3mar. And now TNC Pro Team really have to play for their Joy. They need this Joy online and good to go.
Betty knows 2 members. Way of the Dragon already committed. Tech charge 2. It still catches
for
JP, but Oheb will go back. He doesn't catch anyone with the I'm offended, but oh my goodness, Sanford! He still finds a target. Sanji there too, but Zyda and Benny are after him. He still has the wings by wings, and now they change targets onto 3mar. He might not actually last, and that's a mega kill for Carl TZ.
I look like an overcommittal there. I was surprised that Chaplin committed the tech charge. I thought after JP was able to get away that they just let him go already. But since Chaplin used the tech charge, Liquid just comfortably fought after that.
Chaplin trying to keep that holy shield up. He gets pulled.
They bring them back in. He still gets to walk away, but Benny Cutie has a way of the Dragon, uses it on Sanford, but Oheb picks up the kill.
Oheb has not stopped emoting for the past 2 minutes, and they will get Chaknu as well. Bad TLPH. At this point, they're playing with TNC.
3mar using the bravest fighter. Oheb all alone because Sanji has the wings by wings out. But he's still not stopping the recalls.
Oh, man.
Oheb knows just how much in the lead they are. JP and Sanji together have just put so much pressure in the center of the map that it translated everywhere. Carl TZ was free to farm. Zyda was definitely not free to farm. While Sanji, JP, and even Sanford eventually, once he started getting out of lane, recovering a lot of the entry points of TNC Pro Team. Look at where the Arlot is now. Still only just a Fury Hammer, but the damage that he's dealing is insane. Oracle, Radiant Armor to help with the magic damage, or even more. Team Liquid Philippines have built items so that even when Zyda, with the Holy Crystal, is still going to be thinking, why is my damage not enough? Unless it's actually the Farsa that he finds. But with the presence of the Ruby now, who's out of lane and confidently TPing on them, not much of the Joy can do once Oheb gets a spot onto the Joy.
Yeah, that's really a problem here is, you know, this time around when that Ruby got picked up, it was like, all right, you look at the lineup TNC has, that Ruby's going to be much more devastating to deal with than in the previous game, and that's exactly what's happening here for TNC. Facing this.
A 4-man final slash from Sanford, picking up 2 kills even before the Lord gets to march in. Oheb with the I'm offended, also catching Benny. Now it's just Chapnu and 3mar on the defense.
Oh, it's looking grim here. Chaknu, he's facing the Stampede.
What can they do to prevent the Stampede? They'll tank everything and they'll end game.
We are going back into the game, so let's jump in and see exactly if TNC can make this happen or not. Another part of this is when you look at what TLPH has, this is very standard, very, very basic, if you would call it, in our current meta that has developed over time. It's a very standard TLPH lineup that has worked so many times for them. And so this is what the thing that I worry about for TNC is being able to go ahead and get that crowd control off, utilizing the Grok, which is great for Chaknu. But even to a sense, the final slash, which was so devastating from them from the previous game that TLPH had.
Yeah. Lassy's really going to need the Timeless Chaos Assault and Darkening really well, because that's going to be one of the main team fighting conditions for Liquid. Once they've seen that the Lunox has already committed the Darkness ult, then when that's gone, that's when Team Liquid Philippines is going to full commit and start using all of their abilities to get the win. Which is why TNC Pro Team, even if they think about it in a counter punch perspective, let's say Team Liquid Philippines initiates first, TNC needs to counter. They cannot use all their abilities. Lancey needs to conserve the hell out of his ultimate so that Team Liquid Philippines will then be forced to use their ultimates, and when that happens, then they go for the counter.
Oh, an interruption. Oh, a Bracer's Wrath.
Missed.
Not in this direction he wanted, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if he aimed that properly or misguided. Rare mistake there from the young goat. sorry, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Not that young anymore.
Yeah, I was saying, he's not that young anymore, but whoa, final flash.
Now it's Limar with a surprise and the flicker final slash, but Carl TZ might just walk away from this, but not until Lancey finishes off the kill, but Liquid gets so much in return. Zaida still fighting for the objective, but he will go down. He should go down, right? Against 3 members of Liquid, but that took time.
I'll say Zaida did what he could there. Almost maybe potentially got a kill off of it, but he gets the turtle.
Yeah, not the cleanest take there by TNC Pro Team. That's what I was talking about for skill conservation, because the other layer is make sure that they have their sights on Sanji, know where the Farsa is. The fact that he was left unchecked in that upper mid shrub meant that Liquid wins that easily. So if 3mar's gonna initiate and Jackdo's gonna initiate, then make sure you have eyes on where the Farsa is.
Yeah, I wonder how that changes TNC's playstyle though, because for majority of Lancey's Lunox games, he's just really that aggressive kind of Lunox who goes in when he finds a target, maybe in a way so he could also deal some damage and poke just like that, and maybe this one's worth it.
Yeah, that definitely is worth it. 2 ultimates used, but then they stop a little bit of the rotation of Team Liquid Philippines because the Farsa is very important to that. So that was a great call by TNC.
Using that Rampart, but also getting the Purify out of it. So, yeah, it's a pretty good win for them. A small win in the mid lane, but at least it kind of helps build up. Also, you got to see Lancey's sitting on 2 kills. So again, you know, this Lunox, it showed time and time again in the hands of Lancey that it can turn games around, and if he gets a lead and builds up into his scaling a little bit quicker, that's going to be great for TNC. You can see he's barely ahead of Sanji, but still, nonetheless, having that little bit of advantage and lead for the team as a whole will help TNC into the next objective here. That second turtle should be a lot cleaner, I would say, because of just this setup going into it. Now, I'm not sure if the XP laners are going to want to rotate down to this, or they just leave it, depending on how they decide to play this out, because you still have the gold laners on this close side. Plus, oh, you can see this, they're prepping for the potential rotate.
Yeah, the thing about Dangerous Grass is Benny Cutie can hold a perfect spot right now that Liquid needs to constantly check. So this is a great map actually for a gold lane show, and great positioning by Benny Cutie. See Carl Tizu had to check, he has to help Oheb get that crab coin, and now Benny Cutie can just continue threatening there while Jackdo and Lancey handle mid. 3 more final slash!
Oh, Mountain Shocker, Sanford's down, no help from the EXP later of Liquid expected, AOG out, but Carl gets the turtle.
Okay, he gets a turtle. Is that worth it though? I mean, they technically traded Sanford even though he got final slash, but they got the objective.
Well, if they can build it into a Turtle 3 win, but at this point you don't want to give any more turtles to Team Liquid Philippines. They're playing around a Predator, they're playing around a Farsa.
I'm actually surprised too. You're still, you know, when you think about it. Hold on. Charge up from JP. This is going to be used. Final slash.
Error.
Final slash, Lancey using the Dark Ultimate. Sanji though, oh, his feathered airstrike gets cancelled. The Bracer's Wrath also doesn't land. And now they're trying to fight against 3mar all alone. Sanford doesn't pick up the kill, but 3mar might just go down. Oheb will pick it up.
Oh, a whole lot was thrown there, Redmark.
Yeah, what hurts there is that Oheb actually got a Skypiercer stack on him, so that begins the momentum now for Team Liquid. What looked like initially a little bit of a mistimed dash and taunt there by JP was eventually turned into a win for Team Liquid Philippines because TNC were not able to convert more.
It's interesting because, again, a lot of this is just to kind of play around these windows that TNC's lineup gives them. But you see when these fights break out, like charge, like that, if TNC takes those windows and they don't actually land what they need to, they lose a lot of that setup potential. They lose a lot of what makes this lineup work. And TLPH knows that they can play around that. Again, that's why we're seeing Carl TZ play pretty aggressive. JP as well, up on that front side even.
Yeah. Liquid seems to be a lot more proactive. It's like they don't necessarily need to wait for certain timing so they could go in. Carl TZ just up front shows himself and checks the brushes for everyone. TNC, their lineup, as mentioned by Renmar, suits this map so much, but they're not getting the timings that they want. They're not finding those surprise angles that'll give them the advantage in the team fights.
Again, we mentioned this earlier in game number 2, if I'm not mistaken, earlier in the series, where TNC just really love to overcommit too much on the first person that they see. Yeah, they see JP now, but then that's just a zone out. There's going to be no committal there. But the previous engagements, that have been the story. Oh! No!
Flicker final
Why?
slash. 3mar catches a few, but they don't get to convert it into much, and now he goes down. Tech charge from Taknu doesn't land on anyone as well. Brilliance already committed, but the AOG allows for Oheb to actually secure the kill.
Mistake after mistake after mistake will build up and be punished by the Stampede from Team Liquid Philippines, and that's exactly what they've been doing to TNC in this game 4. And it's looking a little grim already at this point, under the 8-minute mark. Sanford jumping in.
Okay, Zyda's not alone here, but they have enough damage. Benny, Cutie, and Chaknu, they could only watch.
Yeah, clean and simple finish, clean and simple punish, and they're still going. Chaknu might go down here, but good thing he's able to flicker out. 3mar needs to slow things down. Whoa, final slashing the minion away so that they won't be able to take the turret.
Okay, but they still don't commit on JP. Carl finding 3mar, but they just have to stay safe. Zyda's nowhere to be found, and Lancey might not want to fight for now.
Someone needs to start raining 3mar in.
They
or
have to.
if someone is telling 3mar to start using that final slash, stop. You're really gonna have to fix your timing up because Team Liquid Philippines just keeps punishing. Jackno, another missed tech charge as well. So now it has Baluto 4,000 gold lead. The Skypiercer on the Granger has 2 stacks, has a significant lead over the Cho, something you don't want to see. Independent Cutie with a rapid boost now, so he's more active in the map because TNC have now restructured the rotation so that they funnel a bit more onto Zyda and Lancey, which again begs the question, why do they keep initiating? They need time, they need farm.
That's the problem. They keep initiating and they don't even really have the damage yet to deal with TLPH. Now at some point they might be able to get a play where it's like, yeah, one of those final flashes or tech charges are going to land, but they haven't been. So now you have to go ahead and think, okay, we can't keep throwing ourselves and hoping that the course is going to change. We need time to build up here. Benny Cutie as well, this Cho, unfortunately, has not been able to do anything in this game. Like, he's been pretty much non-existent. And so at some point, aside from just providing vision, Neymar jumps in again?
Oh, he finds one, but will that convert into a kill? Sanji and Oheb just walk away. Now Lancey's forced to use the flicker, but Carl's chasing after him. Energy eruption used. There's the wall just to keep them safe, but the AOG once more, and Sanford jumping in. There's nowhere to go. If you're TNC, Carl, TZ, and everyone else, they're just so good at positioning and blocking TNC.
Again, all Benny can do is watch, man. Unfortunately for him, he has to watch his teammates die.
It's final slash, not first slash. Dude, just stop it. I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but that wasn't the right time. You still don't have any other members of Team Liquid Philippines, Mark. Team Liquid Philippines are doing everything right. They're just punishing at this point. They're letting TNC, all right, do something.
Yep.
All right, cool. Watch us punish you and just take everything else afterwards.
Yeah, by the way, TNC, we want them to take some time, but I don't know if Liquid are even allowing them to get that. Because even from afar, just look at the amount of range and damage that Sanjik and Oheb can throw at you.
Yeah, Lancey now had to compensate and he had to rush the Divine Glaive as a second item here.
Yeah.
You still don't see a third item, still on the way there for Zyda. Yes, he has pretty close gold in terms of Carl TZ. Actually at one point had the EXP lead, but everyone else on the map has suffered because TNC refused to slow things down. It's like they kept beating their head against the wall and hoping for a different outcome. When the wall, even the wall was telling them, yo, stop, you're hurting yourself.
You know what the definition of insanity is?
That's
right?
it.
I mean, that's what's happening here. And maybe part of the decision that, hold on.
Yeah.
Again, under this.
What we've been seeing from TNC has been a far cry of what they've been doing in the whole playoffs.
I like it.
Oheb hurts. Oheb hurts so much.
This is the problem, though. I think they've been in a position where it's like they're counting on 3mar to start things up so that that tech charge can come in later. Maybe that's the idea here from TNC, but they might potentially even get pressured into the base. Yeah. They don't really have much of a fighting chance currently. They need so much time.
Yeah, but again, they keep doing that when they still don't have the full info onto where the other members of Team Liquid Philippines are, that it's easy for Liquid to just go counter-punish.
Yeah.
So now they're going to have to play from behind up against a lineup that is range-based and has an 8,000 gold lead. This lineup, perfect for defense, but it's also great for offense.
Oh, JP going in. Sanford 2 might go next, but he gets to receive the way of the dragon. 3mar though has to figure out, but now the Appraiser's Wrath lands onto him. He's still actually gonna go in. 4-man tech charge. Benny Cutie looking for a target, but he doesn't find any. Carl TZ no longer has the immortality. Zyda will be picking up the kill. Lancey going in as well, but everybody's still
Sanji left alive, though concealed to disengage. They're happy with that.
Oh, Sanji!
Oh, so close. All right, Zyda's gonna live.
Yeah, well, see what I was saying? They did it after Team Liquid Philippines initiated, and they went for a counter, which was good. Now you have a tech charge because you have full info. That's what TNC needed to do for majority of this game. Now they finally got it, and I think that was a bit of a heat check now towards Team Liquid. Carl TZ won't have Immortality back for a while, but I think Liquid now are going to slow down the pace so that they have Immortality back on their hands. Sanji is up to a Divine Glaive, and even more so now, even though TNC were able to crawl a bit back of the gold lead, get just a little bit more presence in the map, just a little bit. The fact that there's a Divine Glaive on this Farsa now means TNC needs perfect execution to swing it back towards their favor.
Yeah, but this is looking so good for Lancy though. Majority of the kills went over to him.
Yep.
So now he's pretty much equal with Sanji in terms of gold, also the number of core items that he already has secured, but
Jump in, JP. Oh, Lancy's in trouble. They used the Feathered Hamstring already, but they're gonna have to fight for the Lord here.
yeah, Sanji's really low. I mean, Lancy's really low. Now Sanford gets his eyes on him. Carl TZ is securing the turtle. Benny Kitty might still go in. He goes in with Chaknu, tries to find OM, but Chaknu gets bursted down. Appraiser's Round lands onto them as well. 3 members of TNC are down, and now they're going for the chase.
Carl TZ was fired up. He was yelling towards TNC.
Ooh, Unbreakable doesn't land. Sanji wins by
Run,
wings.
Zyda, run!
Can they actually go for the sandwich play? Oh, the Traceless keeps him safe from the stuns, but JP,
Whoa.
he's still going after him. Can Zyda live? Mountain Shocker, but the Sky Piercer stacks are too much.
You can't escape. Oheb on the Granger. There's too much range from Team Liquid Philippines. And now with this, they're going to get ready to march towards the base and potentially ending the game here with this kind of lead, this composition. Can TNC defend and stay in the game? The Lord charges in the mid.
Endable. It's endable.
Oh, hold on. Lord's still there. They're going to have to clear this out.
Oh, here's the
Weezer
ball.
still going to be working on here. Jack doing the brunt of it all.
Okay, now there goes the final slash. 3 more catches, 2. Tech charge has the follow-up. They might actually find an opening, but Sanji, he's
Benny.
walking away as much as he can. They can't, or they are not paying attention to Oheb. Benny lands the kick, but the Revitalize is there. 2 tanky members side by side, and Sanford going in. JP follows too, but they want the cleanup more than anything. Before anything, a monster kill for Oheb. It's only Zyda left, but
Out of this match.
Yeah, make something happen. And they're doing it with a Claude on the gold lane. So they're in it for the long haul. So we hope you are too. We're going out into the Land of Dawn here for possibly the last game of the series. Let's throw it over to our TriCast. Let's give them a good show.
Potentially the last game of the lower bracket finals here, unless TNC can dig deep and bring out what we've seen them do the past few days and get a game under the belt to extend the series here, or will they be stampeded over by Team Liquid as they've had in the past couple games? Is this enough? This draft leaning on some comfort, leaning on some variations of the past themselves. Renmar, what do you think of TNC's draft this time?
I have so many questions about this Claude. I get it, the Purify, but I'm always so hesitant to see a Claude go up against a Ruby in the major team fighting perspectives. You did point out to me something though. They could just make TNC or make Benny Cutie specifically just go for the split push plays, as the Liquid lineup is great for fighting together. But with the threat of a chip, how well can you actually split push when suddenly the entire cavalry can just show up through portals?
yeah, I think that's how they manage the threat of classic Benny as well. Because there are just so many ways you could play around either the Y walks or the shortcuts. More now after they've adjusted the chip. And even those brief stuns you get from using the ultimate might be very useful to make TNC a bit more hesitant in terms of going in. Because that's all you need to counter the damage that'll come from them. Both the dives from Zyda and Benny Cutie.
Yeah, not only that, but this is, again, one of those things where, you know, I know we've been saying this throughout the series and even the past couple of days. It's like, yes, this is a hero that Chaknu loves. Takes the Grok really well. Mid lane. That's it.
Good trade.
Sanji looks like he's in danger. Zyda actually picks up first blood, and to our surprise, TNC get the better start.
All right, as I was saying, you know, they're going to have to be able to utilize and activate Chaknu in this, but a good early kill for TNC already to put them on the board here. Could 3-Par be in trouble here?
Remember, Sword Rose lands onto him. He'll try to go for the kill on JP though, but there's a flicker still available.
Whoa.
The wall also displaces them for just a bit. Sanji trying to go for the kill and has the brilliance just in time. He walks away safe, but Zaida nearly tried to go for him.
Bang.
And both Lancey and Chaknu won't let him escape.
Okay, those little micro stunts coming out of that Grog has been helping TNC. But Carl TNC and Team Liquid Philippines will get that turtle as Zaida committed his shadow kill into the pickoff onto Sanji in the mid lane, which is why it made a lot of sense for Sanji to commit and be aggro there because he knew, and Team Liquid Philippines knew, that Zaida did not have Oogie shadow kill.
You gotta remember too, this is flying clouds.
Yep.
So everybody's back to the action very quickly here. That's something that could play a part. Also in consideration on a macro level, we've got a chip in play for TLPH. And so in that sense, you already know they're going to be taking advantage of that. And it's almost, I'm wondering how this interaction will be with the shortcuts plus the clouds. Oh, whoa, like
There
that.
you go. You get your answers. 5-man rotation, or you don't even count it as a rotation. It's just a surprise attack towards 3-Mar.
Yeah, so now imagine if that's the late game and that's Benny Cutie trying to split push the lane. That is their response to that. So there's a lot of pressure on this Claude to really execute and time things well, while TNC Pro Team, they have been doing a good job of keeping things somewhat even. Team Liquid Philippines, though, they're giving TNC a run for their money. They're countering and engaging, re-engaging to what TNC Pro Team has been doing.
I think in this way too, when we look at TNC's lineup, there's a couple things that can happen here. They've got great front line, they've got great utility with the Jushin. Zaida, again, as long as he can farm up and potentially even get some more kills onto this Hayabusa, covers that ground, I would say, from the early to mid game, but then eventually you're leaning towards Benny, and that's the hardest part. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way a lot of times where it's like, yeah, even the gold laner still, even though we've had this shifting in the meta, if you have that traditional marksman like this Claude who also takes a lot of time to build up, it's going to be Benny that people are looking on their eyes for to turn the tides of some of these fights later on when he has that trinity of items here. So it's up to TNC to play that power spike, to play into it correctly that serves this lineup its purpose.
Yeah, but TNC are holding the mid lane really well. 3-Mar and the countless times he's actually cut lanes are working. Oheb though, ooh, does he get to lifesteal? He had the shortcut! He's actually able to escape the threat of potentially going down. Carl TNC secures the turtle for Team Liquid. And now, as if nothing happened, they can just get back.
Oh, that was so smart that he just used the portal to get on out of there now, but he goes back. Benny Cutie's out to see him.
Oogie Shadow kills there as well, but the damage is not enough. He also escapes that small amount of damage he could have gotten from the walls. And Oheb, he lives and regains back some of his HP with that jungle creep too.
Oheb, he's escaped death now twice.
He went to the minion, unfortunate for Zaida, but at the end, Benny Cutie and TNC still get that turret, but look at Carl TZ. They find 3-Mar. So get him.
They're all going in. 3-Mar, they're not letting him off.
Yeah, they can't, because they can't allow this Hilda to just go around and be a nuisance in the map. They know that the Hilda's important to the lineup, and now it's putting a lot more pressure to the other 4 members of TNC. The next time we see 3-Mar, everything that he's going to be doing as a Hilda now in team fights, going straight to the back line, trying to burst someone down right away, getting that stun off with the power of wildness. That's just going to be a suicide mission time and time again for this Hilda.
Yeah. Sanji, though, holding this brush down bottom.
Yeah, I think he potentially wanted to see if he could catch 3-Mar again, but 3-Mar's just kind of opted to go ahead and leave that lane.
Yeah.
Be with the team for now.
They left it open for like a minute almost.
Yeah, I mean, the lane was being pressured so much that they almost didn't have a chance. 1v1 here.
1v1, Phantom Execution, the damage doesn't land. Laxie's here too, but Sanji will assist Carl just a bit. They don't commit either way, and we have again 15 seconds before the next objective, so that's probably what they're all preparing and setting up for.
Now, TNC Pro Team, I like they're still keeping things proactive, but the risk again every time you see a chip is that it could just swing. But here comes Chaknu, forcing the flicker out of JP. But JP's gonna reconcile again. He can just drop down a shortcut and suddenly it's 5v5.
He's going in there.
Look for a target. There goes the shortcut. Sanji already going in. They don't know that 3Mar's in that brush. He's gonna have his eyes on Sanji. There's the Dark Ultimate already forced out. Zaida securing the turtle, but 3Mar will fall down. Lancey's all alone here, and I don't think he has a way out. Oheb picks up the kill while Sanford gleams out to safety.
Oh man, unfortunate. Again, the shortcut was used there. TNC does get the turtle, but the fight was split up.
Yeah.
And TNC unfortunately lost 2.
Yeah, Oheb had a great use of the ultimate there. I'm offended on point, which is what led to Lancey getting separated from the rest of TNC Pro Team, 1v1. Former teammates, longtime members of Echo together. Carl TZ looks like he'll be able to disrupt Zaida's juggling pattern. Now getting closer to a 2-level gap between Carl TZ and Zaida. And the items. Chapnu!
Oh, they commit in the mid lane. There's Benny to provide the blazing duet. JP goes down. Sanford might be next. Does he have the gleam? Oheb tries to save him, and now he survives. Sanji going in with the Dark Ultimate. Chapnu trying to reposition just a bit. Oheb will be joining as well. Carl, they're not gonna fight this anymore, right? Oh, they actually still want to, even though it's just 3. Carl TZ going in. But it's not, or it might not be the best decision. Thorn goes to evade, but Zaida finishes off the kill.
Talk about patience for TNC, and even Zaida to wait for that
Benny.
moment. Benny.
No, unfortunate for them at the end of it all. Team Liquid Philippines is still the one able to win that, even though Carl TZ go down. Now Zaida has to balance it out. He does a bit somewhat by stealing away the orange buff. Still a very close game. That 1-point-something gold lead for Team Liquid Philippines is actually a little bit more of a mirage. This is way closer than you think, but in terms of the map control, it is still Liquid coded.
Yeah. Just look at how well JP and Sanji are positioning themselves. Okay, fortunately Lancey checked the brushes, and I think that's also one of their strengths in their lineup. They have so many ways, Chaknu and Lancey, even the Yogi, or even the Quad Shadows maybe, to just scout where Liquid could be planning to go for a surprise angle.
Yeah, this has also been a better game so far for Chaknu too on this Gronk. He's been able to find some pretty good tech charges, and even the ramparts, utilizing the walls there, and some of their engages. And if they catch JP out, that actually helps a lot. Oh no, Chaknu!
Oh, but they go for the guy with the tech charge first. And now they force it out of him defensively.
Yeah, this is going to be a massive advantage for Team Liquid, that if somehow Zaida and TNC miraculously get this, even Team Liquid's going to be scratching their heads. But this looks like this should go to Team Liquid.
Okay, here they go. It's half health right now. They're going to force it. Sanford takes a lot of the damage.
Okay, Throne of Ruin used. Doesn't use a flicker. Zaida might find the opening, but Carl still takes it for the team. Two-man knockup from the tech charge on Chaknu and TLPH. They just want to run away. Oheb. Oh, there goes the I'm offended. They still have damage. TNC are fighting back. JP, will he stay alive? It's only Carl left, but he goes down too.
TNC was looking to rise, and they did in that one. They might have lost the Lord, but man, what a fight they needed.
Chaknu got his tech charge back just in time. Zaida was able to use the shadow kill also perfectly, and that was a tough fight. But Liquid, because of that massive stun by the Mamba, suddenly it goes TNC's way, but they still have minions and a Lord to deal with.
And Flying Clouds.
I like to call that Jack Mamba surprise. Or also the Phoenix Flash, man. Either one. Chaknu made that happen. Yes, they still got to deal with the Lord here, but they should be able to clear it up pretty well. They still hold on to the majority of the turrets, and that's going to keep TLPH in check now. They are going to be a little more hesitant. JP.
Oh my goodness, the stuns! Zaida nearly got bursted right there.
That was almost a K-Bush moment.
Yep, that would have been a tough one, but as you see, Lord is cleared up. TNC will reset, get the buffs they need for Zaida. And that's one of the things here. It's getting a little more difficult for Zaida to kind of choose those windows where he's able to go ahead and get in, and especially depending on when he decides to use the shadow kill. So he's got to watch out for this. But even for that last fight, you guys probably saw it. Oheb pulled Benny Cutie towards the team, so he's got to also be kind of cautious of that, because that was while Benny Cutie was blazing duet and actually brought him towards the team more. So something Oheb's gonna have to watch out for.
Yeah, actually, that's another layer of the interaction between those two. So it's up to Benny Cutie to use that Purify at the perfect time. Save it. Most Claudes would want to Purify in and then Blazing Duet. Blazing Duet, Purify in. But if he can save it for when the pull off the Ruby kicks in, cleanse that, and then just be able to use the Blazing Duet with those little adjustments, the fact that you can move it, then that would be the perfect time. So let's look at Benny Cutie where he's at. Already has the Trinity build. Up to an Oracle, actually went for a Chop Suey build a little bit for Oheb. He went for the Dreadnought, didn't go for the full build anti-Cuirass, went to Oracle, and now has Sea Halberd. So now TNC might just get shocked by a sudden burst of damage coming out of this Ruby, while Zyda and Chaknu understands. That was a bit of a bait, but Chaknu, I think, got to see him.
Yeah, I think so too. So, again, that's one of the things about having a chip in play. The macro stuff you can do here, the baits, everything else, the shortcuts, obviously, especially in conjunction with the Flying Clouds. So. This time around, TLPH doesn't have a clear shot at the Lord. They're going to have to contest against TNC for this one. TNC in a much better fighting position. Even though 3mar dealt with a rough early game, he's in a point now where he can play up front and deal with it. Look at this, they're going to blitz it.
Oh, a flicker and the ultimate on Zyda. JP, he just wanted to look for Zyda, and that throne of ruin from Sanford catching so much members. I defended too. Sanji will get to take down Benny before he goes down. 3mar trying to escape with a flicker. Zyda goes back in, will try to take the kill on JP. 2 members of Liquid fighting against 4.
Oh, it's the Baby Cakes duo. Are they still going to commit to this? Oheb's still fighting up front. They got to watch out for Zyda. That Shadow Kill could be up soon, but hey, they got the Lord. TLPH will continue to put pressure on this side of the map of TNC.
Sanji with the flicker forward to make sure that Benny Cutie goes down. It became a trade, but that is favorable for Liquid. They needed that Claude down, and the Lone Stallion found the target.
He wanted to be the sacrifice here. Carl Teasy though.
He's going for 3mar. 3mar in the bush. Flying Clouds too. Benny's joining the fight.
Oh, there are flying clouds, Carl. You gotta be careful. The tech charge catches up. The lantern flare won't though, and Carl Teasy stays alive.
There's the Lord they have to defend though. Towers in the mid are gonna crumble eventually for TNC Pro Team. Unless they can send Chaknu and another body from TNC to defend it. Are they gonna risk it? No, I think they're just gonna give the tower anyway. But the Lord will not be able to be used that much. JP in trouble, shortcut.
Oh, the ultimate was already forced out, but the conceal's still there. Sanji with the dark ultimate. They still have a Lord.
The damage from Benny.
Oh, the
fool!
The flicker from Oheb! And the first damage, the Winter Crown's there, but that's not gonna do much. From behind, the GOAT surprising TNC. They're just moments away from locking in, and it seems like that is where they're going. TNC get to clear the minions, but they have one more.
One more on the mid lane, and TNC has to deal with this. They're down 2 and 20 plus seconds till they're up.
Can Zyda and Lancey defend this? It seems like it's a no.
They did!
To actually try. Zyda clearing it all. A single minion left.
Oh, but there's another wave.
But
Zyda's
there's
still
another
trying.
wave.
Minion!